Good morning, everyone. Well, after catching a break from the storms and severe storms yesterday, the chance returns today in Nebraska. So let's get right to your hour-by-hour forecast starting 8 a.m. this morning. I think many are going to have a dry morning commute, but there is going to be an area of showers from O'Neill, stretching down North Platte, Oshkosh, Mullen. That's where the best chance of seeing rain is for the morning commute. I'll mention some isolated showers in the far western part of the state, but Kearney, Grand Island, Lincoln, Omaha, looking dry. And just showers this morning, but in the afternoon, we are going to see some storms pop up. And any of the storms that do pop up today have the potential of producing damaging wind and hail and very small chance for a tornado as well. So we're going to mention the chance anytime there's storms around that there's potential for severe storms. So beginning about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I will mention, though, that during the afternoon hours, it looks like the best chance of rain is going to be in the northern half of the state. Because look what happens when we jump ahead to 4 o'clock. Now notice there is some activity in the southern half of the state, but a much better chance, it looks like, across the northern half of the state. So we're going to call it isolated activity for places like Kearney, Grand Island, Lincoln, even Omaha. But if you're from Columbus on up to the north, that's where the scattered showers and storms are going to be during the afternoon hours. However, look what happens at 7 o'clock. Instead of that area rain just pushing off to the east, some new activity is going to pop up in the north central part of the state. And notice the shades of red, so still a chance for storms and severe storms. And I actually think it's this evening round that has the better chance of pushing in to southern Nebraska. So let's jump ahead to 10 o'clock now. And actually, this is looking like the best chance of rain for places like North Platte, Kearney, Grand Island. But notice not so much farther east. So it looks like the better chance of seeing rain during the evening hours is going to be in the south central part of the state. It's going to be more difficult for the rain to move into the southeastern part of the state. So the severe threat a little bit higher if you're in the south central part of the state versus the southeastern part of the state. And I do think that by 1 a.m. that'll be the end of the severe threat. Now, still some isolated showers, maybe some weak storms, but the chance for severe storms coming to an end. So there's a chance of severe storms for most of central and eastern Nebraska, but notice that the highest chance of severe storms is for places like North Platte, Kearney, Grand Island, because you have the best chance of seeing storms during the evening hours. The chance is smaller in Lincoln and Omaha for rain, so therefore your severe threat is also smaller. The marginal risk versus the slight risk. What I'm most concerned about for the storms that pop up today, again, for everyone, as is always the case, it's most likely is heavy rain and lightning. But I do think there are going to be a couple of storms today that produce some pretty significant hail. We certainly are talking about up to golf ball size hail in a couple of spots, and I think that's what's most likely. However, I do think some damaging wind gusts are also possible, perhaps up to 60 miles per hour. Also have to mention that particularly for the north central part of the state, with those multiple rounds of rain working over the area, a small chance for some flooding as well. We could see up to 2 inches of rain, and normally wouldn't be too concerned with that, but because we've been in such a wet pattern, the ground is pretty saturated, so it doesn't take much if you're in a low-lying or poorly drained location. If you do get 2 inches of rain in one of those spots, we could be talking about a few flooded roads. Also, the chance for tornadoes is very low. I do want to stress that I'm much more concerned about the damaging wind and hail, but there is a small chance that we could see an EF0 or EF1 tornado pop up as well. So we get through today. Once again, things are looking much better for tomorrow. I do have to mention the chance for a few showers, mainly during the early morning hours in the far eastern part of the state, but a lot of us are going to be completely dry throughout the day. I think most of us are going to see partly cloudy skies, maybe a few places holding on to mostly cloudy skies, particularly in the morning hours in the eastern part of the state. I also got to talk about winds and temperatures. So a lot are going to top out in the low 80s, it looks like, Friday afternoon. But as you transition over to the west, get into the mid-80s around North Platte, and then upper 80s, maybe even the low 90s over in the Panhandle, where it's also going to be windy in the afternoon with those gusts, easily 30, 35 miles per hour. And in the central part of the state, we'll call it breezy, gusts 20, 25 miles per hour, but there is not going to be much wind in the far eastern part of the state.